All right, everyone. Hello, hello. Happy Friday. All right, guys. I just thought since I was home for the first time on a Friday in like a billion years. I thought we would just do an impromptu happy hour live stream. I can answer some questions. You guys have been sending some questions in. So I think this is going to be really, really fun. If you are here with me, we will be drinking today because it is a happy hour live stream. So you can feel free to pop open whatever your drink of choice is. You have my permission to do so. Whether you're drinking actual alcohol or not, I don't know. Water might be your jam, and that's just fine too. I am going to start off with a Southern Tier Pumpkin Nitro. And because I'm an epic snob, I actually drink my beer out of a wine glass. I do. It's a giant wine glass. It's as big as my head. So this is where we're going to start here today. Oh, look at that head. Oh my god, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. Oh, this whole beer is going to fit right in this wine glass, specifically what it's designed for. Yes. Yes, look at that. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Look at that head. Oh my god. If you've never had Southern Tier before and you're a fan of like pumpkin, Southern Tier's pumpkin is the best thing that has ever happened to beer ever. Now, I go back and forth with different things I like to drink. I've been on like a wine kick lately for some reason, like a red wine kick too, which is weird for me. I'm not usually that into red, but because beer is really my first love, and it is fall, and the good October beers are coming out, the Oktoberfest and the pumpkin beers and the stouts and the porters. I love those so much. So that is what I will be drinking. Can't expect I'm going to be drinking too much of this because this beer is deceiving. It's like, does it even say on it? 8.6%. 8.6%. So we're going to go sparingly on the beer, but my husband is on call downstairs just in case I need a refill. So, cheers everyone, and I see some sober people in the chat too, so you can join us with your water or sodas or what have you. We don't discriminate here. All right, so I put out a call on social media earlier today for some questions, and guys, this is an ask me anything, so you can feel free to ask me whatever questions you want. Here is the order we're going to go in for the questions. First, I'm going to look at my locals. Then I'm going to look at the one person who responded to a tweet I sent earlier today. Then I'm going to look at a post I made on YouTube, and I got a whole bunch of questions there. And if super chats come in along the way, we will do the super chats as well, and then everyone else. And I'm just going to go for a little while. I'm going to try to get as many in as I can. I don't have anything else to do today, so we can hang out for a little while and do some Q&A. Now, because a couple super chats have already come in, I just want to make sure to acknowledge those. 2Death3 says, I went to the astral plane and I received many awesome ideas for t-shirts. I hope you have some merch to sell. I do have merch to sell. And actually, you know what? Actually, let me pull up my merch store real quick and I'll give you guys a link because Teespring is actually doing a sale right now on merchandise that I think is pretty cool. And they do this every once in a while where they do a sale on their end and I don't actually have to pay for the discount, which I appreciate. But I'm just going to drop my link to the merch store in the chat. I just launched a new shirt the other day, and if you use the code GOLDEN GOLDEN, you can get 10% off your whole order, and that's through the weekend, and that's Teespring's little special sale. There's lots of cool stuff in there. Yeah, that's all. That's the shilling I'm gonna do. Nate asks, "What's my favorite non-political book?" Conversations with God is my favorite non-political book. Conversations with God is probably my favorite book of all time. Because I think it gives you a lot of really good perspective on how to view different things going on in the world. Someone already gave me a thumbs down. What the hell's wrong with you, person who already gave me a thumbs down? Guys, like, listen, if you want to tell the person who's already given me a thumbs down to go F themselves, hit that like button, give me a thumbs up to counterbalance it, please. If you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine too. Favorite Star Wars trilogy? Oh, God. So, my husband is the Star Wars fan in the family. I am not as much into Star Wars, I have to say. I mean, I've seen them all. But I don't know that I like any of them enough to have a favorite. It's just like not my thing. So I apologize to all the Star Wars nerds in the house. I don't have a good answer for you. All right. I am going to actually no, I'm not going to share my screen. I'm just going to read off the questions from because I don't even think you guys would be able to see them, honestly. But actually, well, okay, I'm not going to share my screen because I don't want to. I want to do questions from my locals folks. And guys, if you aren't in my locals is awesome. Locals in general is awesome. It's like it's just if you hate social media, and I absolutely detest social media as a general rule, but locals is so nice. Like people are not bastards. Like everyone is nice to each other. We have good conversations. So the locals information, if you want to join my locals, is in the description below. I post all of my videos ad free to locals, so you don't have to get annoying YouTube ads or yell at me about Karlyn, why do your videos have so many ads on them? Like you're not gonna get any of that in locals. It's like a benefit, and you get that for free. And then if you want to join in and have conversations, you can become a supporter, which like starts like $5 a month or whatever you want to contribute to support what I'm doing. But I'm going to take some questions from my locals. So Mandy asks in my locals, I'd love to know your thoughts on how teachers can mitigate the harm done by CRT on students. I know I may not be able to control the information they get, but counteracting the harm is something I've been trying to figure out. Your thoughts would be much appreciated. I mean, if you're a teacher, don't teach things based on critical race theory. There are all sorts of exercises you can do with your kids, like kids in your school. And by kids, I mean like up to high school, obviously. There's all sorts of exercises you can do that have nothing to do with critical race theory. Critical race theory was not taught in schools, at least when I was in school. It's like this is in the grand scheme of things, this is a relatively new phenomenon. And so my biggest advice to teachers is don't teach it. Teach something else. That's honestly like, it may sound overly simplistic, but that's what I have. John from my locals asked, have you ever listened to Ben Shapiro or any other conservative YouTubers? Yes. In fact, when I was waking up from Trump derangement syndrome, my husband kind of like he was like, Karlyn, you really need to listen to Ben Shapiro. You're gonna like Ben Shapiro. And I was like, no, Victor, Ben Shapiro is Satan. But I did eventually listen to him, and I do appreciate his perspective. I find like he's a little. I don't agree with Ben Shapiro on a whole heck of a lot. I just don't. I also like, and not even just conservative YouTubers, but really, like you guys might not believe this. Like, I don't watch like a lot of YouTube in general. YouTube was always more of like my husband's thing. I definitely watch more now than I ever did, but um, I definitely don't really watch. I haven't really been watching much of any YouTube lately. Honestly, I've just been so busy that I have not been watching all that much. But I do occasionally see things Ben Shapiro posts. I do watch some other people on YouTube, but I don't really go out of my way to do it. Um, edible words in my locals. She writes these amazing poems. I edible words. I'm not going to read your thing that you asked me though, because I think this stream would pretty much instantly get demonetized if I did, and I don't want that. But I will happily answer you in my locals later. Calvin Hobbs in locals says, "Have you ever heard of Nancy Ruth Owens?" And I have not, but I don't know. I don't know who it is. If anyone in the chat knows who that is, like let me know and maybe I can look her up. And the last question I have in locals for right now is, are you going to be knitting the Westnitz Mystery Knit Along 2020 Slip Stitch Stravaganza? Yes. Yes, I will be knitting the Westnitz Mystery Knit Along. Now, for those of you who might not be knitters, the Mystery Knit Along is a once a year event. It is like one of the most fun things in knitting, where basically you don't even know what you're knitting. You just get outlines for like what type of yarn to get. I'll even show you because I have it actually. I'll show you my yarn for the Mystery Knit Along. So it's actually on my Instagram. I just got it yesterday. So if it wants to load ever, oh, some things have been like so slow to load today. I'm gonna will this to load. There it is. So this is going to be my yarn for the Mystery Knit Along. The darker colors are going to be the main color, and then it's going to have these pops of different shades of pink, which I think based on my understanding of what he's doing, is going to look cool. The thing about mystery knit-alongs is you don't actually know what you're knitting up until like you get a different clue every week and you didn't knit a different section every week. So I actually do have, for all the knitters, I actually do have hang on, oh, grab it off the hook. I do have this was last year's mystery knit-along. Whoa. This is one of my favorite shawls. It's the Flake shawl. I absolutely love it. This was Undercover Otter for both of the yarns, and that was last year's. I did Texture Time the year before. I actually have 2 different Texture Times that I've done, and I'm looking forward to this year's. I'm excited. So I'm gonna hang this back up. Oh, I wanna. I gotta be careful with those hooks because I'm gonna ruin my knitting. I've already broken a shawl that I have to fix by hanging on those hooks. All right, so that is all the questions I have in my locals. I'm just gonna go back and we're gonna do some super chats. I'm gonna let's see. Smash that like button, guys, if you haven't already. I appreciate it. Yes. Sparks Fly says Battlestar Galactica is greater than Star Wars. Yes. Agree. Cosign. I love Battlestar Galactica. Gloria says, do you think we could be living in the Matrix? Gloria, I'm gonna be honest. I have often thought that. I think that, oh my God, isn't it? It is like the weirdest time to be alive. I can't even. Like, I wake up. I mean, maybe this is just me because my life has gone on this like unexpected turn. I mean, I wake up thinking like you're living in a dream. Like this isn't real. How can this be real? Like you really, this is your life now. I wake up thinking that on like a daily basis. It feels very much like a dream to me. So I guess that's probably what the Matrix feels like. I don't know. But man, the overlords, the overlords have got it in for us, I swear. Hank says, have you ever read PJ O'Rourke's essay entitled How to Explain Conservatism to Your Squishy Liberal Friends? I have not read that, Hank, but I will be sure to look it up, and I appreciate the suggestion. That sounds right up my alley. Viking Insane. Hello, Viking Insane. Have you ever read Don Quixote? If not, I would recommend it. I never have. So maybe I can put that on the list. I'm actually, guys, I have so many books I'm reading right now, but there's one in particular I'm going to highlight because I'm actually reading it with my locals community for book club. We are reading Dave Rubin's book, Don't Burn This Book. I'm enjoying it so far for obvious reasons. But yeah, we're actually reading this as a group in my locals right now. And we're going to have a book club discussion in a couple weeks for local supporters. So if you want to get in on that, still plenty of time to get your copy of the book, read it, join my locals. We're going to have a little Zoom call. We're going to have there where there may or may not be a surprise guest. So yeah, get your book, come and join us in the locals. And I have some other books I'm reading right now too, but I'll add Don Quixote to the list. Brandy B says, love your content. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate that. Michael wants to know, who was my biggest influence growing up? I don't know. That is a great question. Let me think about that for a second. I really don't know, to be honest. Like, I don't know that I had anyone growing up that I would consider to be like my primary influence. I was pretty rebellious growing up. I mean, like, obviously. No, I mean, I think I was pretty rebellious growing up. I think I appreciated people who pushed back against the norm. But growing up for me, I really like, I felt like I was just on my own a whole lot. So I wouldn't necessarily say I had like a major influence growing up. Sadly. I don't know. Let's see. As a New England native, do you have recommendations for groups that are more open-minded, less crazy leftist? I'm from MA and I need more friends. Walk away, guys. Walk away is awesome. I don't know what I would be doing right now. Like, I would probably be insane if it wasn't for the walk away community. And I mean that like back from when I first started waking up from Trump derangement syndrome and I discovered walk away was actually a real thing. So there are walk away groups all over the place. Definitely join the walk away group on Facebook. We also have state groups. They do meetups and different types of things. And I actually know, so I actually know that there is a combined walkaway group for Massachusetts and New Hampshire that they do meetups on a regular basis. So I would recommend that, or recommend like looking into like conservative groups or like Trump groups, because here's the thing, like people on the right tend to have more open minds and they're really nice and they're really welcoming. So that's where I would look. But I completely understand needing different friends. I was definitely in that space for a while. Silent Stalker says, have you read Wage of Destruction? A good book. I have not read that one. I will add that to the list. Thank you. Thank you. Let's see. Eric says, I'm getting my PhD in college student affairs. What advice do you have for non-woke SJW conservatives working in student affairs / higher ed? Eric? Okay, I'm a little cynical right now. I'm a little cynical, and I think it's important to preface this and make sure you guys know that I am a little cynical right now. Probably more cynical than I should be. Good luck, Eric, because student affairs is especially woke. There is, I would bet there is no more woke profession in higher education than student affairs. So maybe my advice would be, if you want to work in student affairs, go work for a more conservative college. Make sure you go work for a more conservative college. That's going to be your best bet, because that's probably where you're going to find the least amount of woke people, is like a conservative school, a religious school, things like that, because most of the people that I know now in higher education are insane. They've like lost their minds. So that would be my best bet there. But like every profession, I hear this all the time from people. Hang on. I hear this all the time from people, like asking about different types of professions. And they're like, Karlyn, I just want to do my thing. Like psychology, especially. I get a lot of emails about psychologists. Oh, you guys might hear my dogs barking on this, unless my husband can get them under control. They're barking right now, but I don't know if you guys can hear that. But like I get a lot of emails from psychologists, especially saying, I just want to be non-woke and all this stuff. And you know, every industry needs people who are not woke. Most people are not woke, guys. Most, like, I know it might seem like everyone around you is woke, but most people are not woke. And things are going to get better, I think, for people who are not as woke, especially after the election. All right, we got a couple more super chats. AJ Star Hiker says, I like old Battlestar Galactica better than new Battlestar Galactica. I don't know. I really liked the new ones. I thought the new ones were good. Maybe I'll have a Battlestar Galactica marathon. You know what movie I've wanted to watch lately? I want to rewatch the Alien movies. That's probably going to be something. Maybe I'll even do that tonight. I'll make Victor, we're watching Alien tonight, just so you know. He's probably not going to mind. Nate says, when are you going to force everyone's favorite Mikey Harlow to join locals? Nate, I am on it. I am on it. Actually, thank you for the reminder, because I need to connect Mikey with someone at locals, and I'm going to be doing that. I need to stage an introduction, but I am working on getting Mikey on locals. I will cajole him into he relents. Nate also asked, how did you and psychic Josh meet? So I, okay, you guys, I mean, like, yeah, okay, like I believe in the psychic stuff, but not all good psychics are good, right? So I, several years ago, was having a really hard time with a specific situation, and I don't even know, like, I think this was more intuitive than anything else. So Joshua used to work at the Tremont Tea Room in Boston, or he was living in LA, but he was still doing virtual readings with the Tremont Tea Room. Tremont Tea Room, I don't even know if it's still around now, but it's like one of the oldest psychic like things like that existed for a while it was still around. And so I had been going there every once in a while just for like a reading, just for fun, for kicks with like my friends. But I was having a really hard time with a specific situation and I needed advice on it. And I just kind of wanted like a third party to just give me advice and guidance. So I went on their website and I looked at the different psychics that were available, and Joshua was the only normal looking one. I don't know why psychics do this, why they have like crazy, like goth pictures of themselves where they're looking crazy. Like, I don't want to work with someone who's crazy. And Joshua was the only one who didn't look crazy. And so I had him do a reading for me. It was just like an email reading. I didn't even talk to him or anything. He just did it over email. And then a couple months later, when I was going to go, I was gonna I'd been doing my business Zen workplace part time as like a side hustle, and I was going full time with it. And I decided I wanted a coach because I'm a professional coach, and I believe that like coaches who, if you are ever, side note kind of tip, if you ever are looking to hire a coach for work related stuff or life related stuff, it doesn't really matter. Ask them if they have a coach, because I firmly believe that if a professional coach does not have a coach, that is a warning sign that they are probably not very good at what they do for any number of reasons. And so, because I was going to be coaching professionally, I was very adamant that I wanted a coach to help me because I believe in the process of coaching. And I had just remembered, like, I had liked the reading that Joshua had done for me. And for some reason, I was like, I had remembered that he was doing life coaching. And so I reached out to him, and I just kind of like almost sight unseen just signed up for a month of coaching with him just to make sure my head was in the right space to be able to make the leap into doing my business full time. And what's it been, like 4 or 5, almost, it's been over 4 years, probably like 4.5 years later. I'm still working with him all the time. We meet every single week. He is absolutely, like, I know some of you guys don't like that I have Joshua on the channel, but here's the deal. Like, Joshua, probably next to my husband, is like the second most critical person in my life. He was here before all of you. He will be here after all of you. And I've been incredibly grateful for the help that he has given me. And I think he's fun and we have a good time. And so he will be here for the foreseeable future. Oh, you guys just did a whole bunch more super chats. Okay. We're gonna get going on these. Let's see. Silent Stalker, Leftist by Eric Vaughn. I have no idea how to pronounce that. Okay. Speak Your Mind. Morning from Australia. Heard of Daisy Cousins? I like Daisy Cousins. I do watch her every once in a while. I think she's great. Shane Bentley says, thanks, Karlyn, for promoting rational thinking. We may have differing political views, but dag nabbit, I rather have discussions with you than a staunch conservative that won't think outside the box. Well, thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. Cheers to you, my friend. Mm. Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand why people only like having discussions with people who agree with them. That just makes no sense to me. Adam Johnson says, just wondering if you've seen the vid by Gianna Jessen she made for Trump. If not, I think you would like it. I have not seen that, but maybe if someone sends it to me, I will give it a look. Let's see. Is that all the super chats for right now? Oh, no, we just got another one. Let's see. Wearing my Let's Keep Going shirt right now. Yay. Appreciate your perspective so much. Thank you. Thank you for that. Guys, let me just, okay, I said I wasn't going to shill the merch. I'm going to shill the merch one more time just because I want to show you guys, like, I'm proud of some of the merch that I have in the store right now. I really am. Like, all the merch in my store is stuff that I thought looked cool. And so that's why it's in my store. So I've got some really cool things. So I've got, let's see. I've got I prefer dangerous freedom over peaceful slavery. I've got this shirt. This shirt I feel is like an underrated shirt. Okay. This is a Mad Hatter handing out red pills. I think that's really cool. I have one. I think it's great. This is the Let's Keep Going shirt. I just added yesterday a Stop Making S up shirt. I'm going to be getting a censored version of that. So I'm having a censored version made right now that's going to say stop making stuff up if you don't want to wear a swear. I have my make speech free against stuff. I have my uneffwithable stuff. I have both ones with the swear and not with the swear. I've got unwoke. So I've got lots of cool stuff in the store. Oh, where's my tie-dye shirt? Oh, guys, check this out. Teespring made this awesome tie-dye shirt for me that I can't wait to get mine. I want that one. I love it. I think it's freaking great. So again, the merch link should be in the description below. Teespring is having a sale right now where you can get 10% off everything in your cart if you use the promo code GOLDEN. So take advantage of that if you want any of that cool stuff. All right, Silent Stalker says a typo. Leftism. Okay, I'm not sure what you're talking about. To be honest, I'm sorry. Chrissy, hi Chrissy, love you and Joshua. Thank you. Elizabeth, who drew Joshua and I as tarot cards. Haven't caught a stream. Happy to see you grow. Thank you, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. If you're enjoying this kind of rather impromptu live stream so far, make sure you hit the like button. Give it a thumbs up, leave subscribe if you haven't already. If you think you're subscribed, make sure you're still subscribed. Just make sure, just double check. That's all I'm saying. All right. All right. So I've done questions from my locals. I've done questions from some super chats. Okay. So I am actually going to share my screen for this because all of this is public. So I'm going to show you guys where I'm answering questions. All right. So we're going to answer questions from my Twitter. I really only have one from the tweet I sent out earlier because the other one's just saying they can't wait. I'll just refresh to see. Okay. So this question came in on Twitter. How does your family feel about the walkaway movement and your involvement? Dude. Uh my mother and I really don't speak. Like, okay, so like back up. I don't really speak to my family, to be honest. And this is like, I don't have an issue with my extended family. My extended family is fine. My immediate family, like, I just don't really have great relationships with them anyway for a variety of reasons. And I know I'm not alone in that, so I'll be a little bit vulnerable and share. Like, I haven't really spoken with my father in years. I've never had a good relationship with my father. But not really about this. Like, this what's kind of weird about this whole thing though, and something I've said over and over again, is like one of the very distinct memories I have of my father is that he hated Glenn Beck growing up. Like, I knew, if there's one thing I knew about my father for sure, it was that he hated Glenn Beck. And so I actually have spoken to Glenn Beck more lately than I've spoken to my own father in the past like several years, which I just think is kind of funny and ironic. So there's that. I have a younger brother. I don't really speak much to him, which I think is a shame because I think he would actually get a kick out of the YouTube stuff. But this is entirely his decision. He married a crazy bee of a woman, and I do not like her at all. And so that's probably why I don't speak to him. But my mother, like, I am actually most sad about my mother in regards to this turn of events because um, I I feel like my mother and I could have had a more like close relationship. Um, we'd had our struggles, but like we were starting to mend fences, and then all of this happened, and she won't even speak to me anymore. Is really the end of the story. Like, she won't even speak to me. She wants nothing to do with it. They actually live, so the Walkaway March on Washington is next week. My mother and my father actually live like 2 hours away from DC. They absolutely could come and see me speak at this march, and I know they won't. And so that's really that. So that's the answer to that question. It sucks. It is what it is. I'm not going to change my position to make other people feel more comfortable. And that is just how I feel about that, folks. That's just how I feel. All right. Couple more super chats. What does Victor think about you being so busy? I don't know, man. I think that well, okay. Well, this is weird for me to answer because I know he's like watching it right now. He's like watching from downstairs while he's doing his job at the same time. Um, no, I mean, I think he likes all of this. Like my husband is incredibly supportive. I married very well. He has been exceptional throughout, like an exceptional partner. I think that it's a lot right now, but what I've said to him is that this feels like one of the most important things I'll ever do. And so it's worth putting that time into, and it feels like a sprint right now. It's like constant like work, but I think I want to look back at this time and know that I did everything I could. I did everything I could to try to create the experience in this world that I want, and I think he's fully supportive. And he gets a kick out of this. Like, I think he does. I think he gets a kick out of like we were talking last night. It's like 6 months ago, we were just watching these people on YouTube, and now like that's you. That's you. And like, so I think I think he gets a kick out of it. Gloria asks, "Could you should check out Sterling Jennings' new song called 'God We Need You Now.'" Thank you, Gloria. I will check that out. Let's see. Woohoo! New local subscriber. Yay! Yay for locals. Guys, you guys are gonna love locals. Locals is so much better. It's so much better. Um, honestly. Rob says, "Love your content. I think we should start calling these woke, so-called anti-racist, anti-ra, or like Antifa. Their self-identification is Orwellian. Everything these guys do is Orwellian. It's crazy. It's like I don't know how these kids, and I'm gonna call them all kids. I don't really care how old they are because they're all kids so far as I'm concerned. I don't know how they got through high school without reading 1984 and not understanding like the irony of the situation. Like, I really just don't. Makes no sense. Mm. All right. Just want to make sure I got all the super chats. I meant the typos on my last chat. Okay, Silent Stalker. All right. I think I'm caught up in regards to super chat. Okay. Let's go. So, guys, oftentimes when I do get to do these impromptu live streams, I will put a post up on YouTube earlier in the day asking for like questions or things like that. So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're like subscribed and all that stuff so that you have an opportunity to ask questions when they come up so you don't have to super chat or join the locals. Because again, I do my locals questions first. So they don't need to super chat either. But I got a whole bunch of questions that have come in on this post. So we're just going to go through some of them. And then we'll come back and we'll do some more super chats. Okay. Vibrant Goo asks, "What do you think? Do you think there is a grain of truth in Black Lives Matter? It's easy to brush off. Just think we could be part of the problem for not listening to them and furthering the divide." Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think for sure that there is truth in Black Lives Matter. I absolutely think so for sure. But here's the thing: it's like how I think about it is like after George Floyd, everyone had a problem with what happened to George Floyd. Everyone had a problem with it. Like there was no one that was cool with what happened to George Floyd. We had a moment where we could have had a legitimate discussion about race in this country. And then Black Lives Matter, the organization, which is different than the saying, and I think we always need to be careful to distinguish those. Black Lives Matter ruined that moment. It ruined it. So, I mean, is there a grain of truth in what they're saying? Yeah, I mean, I think there are conversations that we should have about race in this country, but they are the ones that are making it impossible. And so I don't really feel that bad about it because this is their doing. This is their creation. So they've got to start like they got to stop burning crap down and then maybe we can actually have a talk. Nebin Dog says, "You deserve downtime after your yeoman's efforts. We need a fresh Karlyn to verbalize to folks that we still have sleepy." Yeah, I'm trying, man. I'm trying. Ooh, what's my favorite movie? Oh my goodness. What is my favorite movie? Hmm. I think I have favorite movies on different days. Like I like a lot of different types of movies. I mean, American Beauty has always been one of my favorite movies. I think that movie's awesome. There's a movie called After the Dark that I think is really it's an interesting movie. Um, I don't know. I don't know. Nightmare on Elm Street. I mean, I was always like Nightmare on Elm Street. Like I was always like into Freddy Krueger growing up. Freddy Krueger is my favorite. I actually somewhere in my house have like a real Freddy glove with like the metal knives. So I love horror movies. I like found footage movies. I like the Paranormal Activity movies are kind of my jam. I like that sort of thing. I thought those were great. The Saw movies I thought were great. Uh Clockwork Orange is a great movie. Ooh, I haven't seen Clockwork Orange in years. Have you guys seen Clockwork Orange lately? Because like that's a good freaking movie. Hmm. I don't know. That's the type of stuff I like when I'm left to my own devices. Okay, let's see. What's next? I hate wearing a GD mask. With that said, I know there's some radical local governments out there thinking about canceling Halloween because of the virus. Needless to say, these local governments can go F themselves. I'm trying to be creative wherever I wear a mask. The mask I'm wearing right now is that of is that of a ninja. It's cool. So whenever I feel like it, I'm wearing a ninja costume. I think that's a great way to look at it, by the way. So here's my question. Are you going to celebrate Halloween? Joshua and I, like every year that Halloween comes up, we talk about how like the energy of what you wear on Halloween follows you for the whole rest of the year. So you could like when you're picking out your Halloween costume, you got to be really cognizant of like the energy you want to follow you the whole rest of the year. I usually okay, it's gonna be cheesy. I know. I usually dress as some sort of like empress or goddess on Halloween. I wear a crown. I have like a full on like dress sometimes because that's the energy I want to follow me for the rest of the year. So that's kind of probably where my Halloween costume is going to end up. Honestly, anything that involves me wearing a crown, I think is probably a good thing. All right, let's do some super chats. Jenny getting ink with it says, have you seen Ricky Rebel's MAGA slash YMCA song? I have seen it. I thought it was really fun. Good for him. I think that was great. Let's see. Francis B says thoughts on law of attraction in relation to the current state of things in the US. Ooh, what a good question. So essentially law of attraction is this idea that we attract everything in our lives. We attract the good, we attract the bad, we attract the ugly. I am very much like a believer in this stuff, and I believe in it simply because I've seen it too much in my own life. I've just seen it play out too much to not believe in it, to be honest. But the thing with law of attraction that people don't understand is it's not just about thinking about the things that you want. In fact, if you think about the things that you want, you're going to keep wanting them, right? Because you're thinking, I want this, I want this, I want this. Well, that's going to leave you in a constant state of wanting. What you got to do for law of attraction, what you attract is a reflection of how you feel emotionally. So, how are you going to feel when you have $1 million? How are you going to feel when you get that amazing job? How are you going to feel when Donald Trump wins the presidency? All of these things, we have to live as though these things are already true. So, what's happening in the country right now? We're ripping each other apart. It's like that's what it is. Like we've created all of this. We've created all of this, and I think it's partially because we like so many people assume that this is not a fixable problem. Every single person out there can have a hand in fixing this problem right now. I think there are also other components of it too where in my belief system, and again, guys, you always know I acknowledge I'm weird. I believe weird things. Some of y'all believe weird things too. Some of you believe that, Jesus Christ was born of a virgin, which I think is pretty weird. But like I believe in weird things. So one of the things I believe is that we make choices before we're born about what kind of experience we want to have on this earth. And sometimes we make choices from a spiritual perspective that might seem crazy from a human perspective. So, from a spiritual perspective, we might say things like, I want to know what it's like to be oppressed. Because if I am oppressed in this lifetime, that means I'm really going to appreciate being the king of the castle in the next lifetime. From a spiritual perspective, we have that vantage point. From a human perspective, we don't. And so, I do think that what's going on in the world has been created for a reason. It's an experience that we need to have. It's an experience we need to move through. And it's all going to be okay. It's all going to be okay. I know it all seems crazy, but I truly believe it'll be okay. Let's see. Kate asks, are you worried about the unsilent majority rally next week with everything going on? I'm on the fence of attending. No. And Kate, I'm so glad you asked this question. Guys, I'm not worried at all. The rally in DC, which is what Kate's talking about, the unsilent majority, it's the walkaway rally in DC. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. Guys, I have a whole outfit picked out for this thing. I don't pick out outfits for anything. I certainly don't pick out outfits for things that I'm afraid of. I'm wearing 3-inch platform boots next week. If I was afraid of attending this rally, I would not be wearing 3-inch platform boots. I can't run in those things, or I probably could. I could manage it, but I might break my ankle or something. No, so I think it's going to be great. Brandon is bringing in like hundreds of security people. You guys have nothing to worry about in coming to this rally. And you know what? There's going to be thousands of people there. Some of you have already asked me about like, how do I make friends? How do I want new people. This is your opportunity to find your new people, guys. There are going to be thousands of people there that are just like you. We're going to have hundreds of security people. It's going to be completely safe. So please come to the rally in DC. It's going to be awesome. I'm so looking forward to it. I'm so excited. Nothing could keep me away from this rally next week in DC. I'm so excited. Victor's going to be there. My husband is coming down for it. He finally gets to go on a trip. So it's going to be awesome, and I hope everyone comes. All right. Let's see. Do you think Trump will win? Yeah, I think Trump will win, but I think it's going to be a fight. I mean, obviously the Democrats are going to challenge it no matter what happens, really. But I 100% think Trump is going to win. But we just need to be prepared for a fight. And guys, I mean, also like you need to go out and vote in person. You need to go vote in person. They've been finding ballots left and right that have been discarded. Do not trust mail-in voting. Absentee voting is a different thing. I feel more comfortable with absentee voting than I do mail-in voting. But don't mail in vote. You need to go vote in person. I will be voting in person if it kills me. I don't care. I'm voting in person, and I can't wait. I can't wait to vote for Trump. AJ Starhiker says, I'd like to recommend an old Michael W. Smith song called Someday. Just listen close to what's in its lyrics. Okay, AJ Starhiker, I'll check that out. For sure. No, Freddy Krueger is not that guy from Mortal Kombat Silver Bullet. No. Jeez. Oh, hang on. I'm just trying to make sure I got all the super chats, guys. Hang on. Superman says, just dropping by to smash that like button. Keep up the great work. Yes, Superman. Actually, I think you're from Adamcast, aren't you? Guys, if you don't know, I'm actually on Adam Krigler's show like once a week on Adamcast on Thursdays. I'm not going to be on this Thursday because I'm actually traveling to DC for the Walkway March, but I was just on it last night. I looked forward to many other shows with Adam. Adam is awesome. And smash that like button, guys. Smash it. We're going to steal this one. If you haven't already, I appreciate it. Deidre says, I'm a fellow 30-something, but I'm growing increasingly curmudgeonly, seeing our generation and younger increasingly radicalized and bat crap crazy. You, girl, you and I, yes, we are the same. In fact, I have gotten so many, guys, look at my gray hairs. I'm getting gray hair that I've never had gray hair before because of all this nonsense. You guys are making me age and I don't like it. No, like honestly, it's crazy. Like what's happening is insane. I can't. Hang on a second. Hang on. Ugh. I need a hat. My office is so hot right now. It's like unseasonably warm and I need a hat. Hang on. There we go. Now my hair is under control, under a hat where you can't see it. All right. Let's see. Silver Bullet says, I have a small paper I wrote on history and racism. It's not woke, but calls woke people nuts. Can I send it to you? Where can I send it to you? Come back to Tampa. I was just in Tampa, man. I was just in Tampa this past week. Tampa was great. Yeah, you can send it to me. There's an email address that's on the channel for that you can access to send it to me, or send me a note through drkarlyn.com. All the information is in the description below, and I'll respond and let you know where to send it. KD says, I'm still waiting on tour video of fabulous knitted shawls. Is the one in from and a Westnitz kit or Westnitz? So happy to meet other. Yeah, almost all my shawls are Westnitz, to be honest. I very rarely knit something that's not Westnitz. I know Corinne is a knitwear designer that I'm friends with. She's pissed at me and she yells at me all the time that there are other designers. But almost everything I knit is almost everything on the wall that you see behind you is Westnitz. Because he's interesting and I like him. And okay, so fun fact for the knitters in the house, Steven's mother got in touch with me. Steven's mother saw my PragerU video and like sent me a note on Facebook, and now like I have her cell phone, and like she's like text me anytime, which I just think is crazy. Like Steven West's mother like got in touch with me after she saw my PragerU video, and I was actually wearing one of his shawls in my PragerU video, so it was a nice little homage. I think he's fabulous. If you've never taken a class with Stephen West and you're a knitter, you should take a class with Stephen West. He's so inspiring. Let's see. Thank you guys for all the super chats. I really appreciate it. Lover of the Arts says, where do you see the US a year from today in terms of COVID restrictions? Do you think the economy is headed for another recession? All depends on who wins the election, man. If Trump wins the election, I'm completely confident about where we're going to go and where the economy is going to go. If Biden wins the election, I'm going to thank God every day I make a sufficient amount of money complaining on YouTube. That's like, thank God for YouTube. I would like, especially if Biden wins the presidency, my business would probably not survive a Biden presidency, but my YouTube sure as heck will. So, at least until they ban me. I mean, who knows? I don't think I'm controversial enough to get banned. They just screw with my channel incessantly. Hey, Truman, return to reason. Do you think Trump will win, and do you think he'll remain in office for the duration of his term? Are not the same question, unfortunately. No, you're right. They're not the same question. I do think Trump will win, and I do think Trump will remain in office for the duration of his term if he does win. Because, like, Trump is like the only president that I've had in my memory where he didn't look significantly older 4 years after taking office. So I have full expectation that Trump is going to last. I really do. All right, guys, that's all the questions I have from Super Chat for right now. So let's go back to our YouTube things. Where did I get those boots? Okay, I actually got this question a lot. This is in reference to the boots I'm wearing. So this is my outfit for the Walkaway DC rally. So I actually just got like almost everything in this outfit the other day. I'm so excited about this. This was an outfit that I planned with Mikey Harlow. So I had I had the input of a gay man in the making of this outfit, which is completely necessary for me because God knows I can't dress myself. So a lot of you have asked me where I got the stuff. So the jacket and the mesh shirt that I'm wearing under it are Neiman Marcus. And then the boots are Doc Martens. And they're awesome, and they're actually really comfortable. So I am thrilled with this outfit. I think it's going to be awesome. What is more essential to society's well-being, reason or morality? That is, Andy, that is a very interesting question. What is more essential to society's well-being, reason or morality? I'll even make this bigger so you guys can see. Well, why do we have to choose? I don't buy into this false dichotomy like of why we don't have to choose between the two. We can have both. I think if I had a gun to my head, I probably would say reason is more essential, but morality is also pretty essential as well. But then we have to have the discussion of like where does our framework for morality come from? Because I'm not religious in a traditional sense. I'm highly spiritual, but I'm not religious. So we would have to come to some common understanding of where the morality comes from. But I think reason is much more universal. So we'll say reason for the purpose of this. Let's see. Dan says, I have a question for you, Karlyn. How do you keep a positive attitude when you engage with current events and politics daily? Dude, this is a good question. Okay. Do you become depressed or angry? How do you maintain balance in the media you consume? I have to monitor myself because if I spend too much time consuming political content, it makes me depressed and angry. So let's start with that question. There are times I do get depressed. There are times I do get angry. I mean, straight up, guys, like I'm not gonna lie. There are times I get depressed. There are times I get angry. Um, but I meditate every single day, and I really do believe that my spiritual perspective is very helpful in this regard because my belief system essentially like I don't believe that there is such a thing as good or bad. I believe there just is. Like something just is. The minute you judge it as good or bad is the minute that um you're missing the point that there might be a bigger picture to the experience. And that goes for like the worst things that people perceive in the world, that goes for the best things. And so I think once you start looking at things as like even some of the worst things that can happen to us can have a purpose. It can drive us to that next great thing. So, you know, I think I try to have that perspective. I think especially right now, what we're moving through is a necessary process to get us to where we need to be. And yeah, it's hard. But when I get really frustrated, I always try to turn back to meditation, to spirituality, to trying to have that broader perspective of like, why might this be a necessary process for us to move through to get to that next step? And that really does help. Um, Dan also has a second question. I'll bring it back up. He says, how do we decide when to be active and when to just let things be? I practice meditation, yoga, Reiki. The New Age preaches a detached way of interacting with the world. But how do you know when it's time to take a stand and fight? I think for me, the answer to that is you know instinctively if you're drawn to do something. Listen, like, guys, I know like not everyone believes me when I say this, but like I didn't this was not part of my life plan. This was not part of my plan at all. In fact, what I'm doing right now is directly counterproductive to the life plan I had at the beginning of the year. Like, this was supposed to be the biggest year ever for my business. I was involved in another startup that I thought was going to be like really, really big. Like, I had a completely different path than what I'm on right now. But the reason that I'm on this path now is because I couldn't I couldn't not do it. It was like there was something that was much bigger than me pulling me towards it. So you know when you need to go and do something. I firmly believe that exactly what I'm doing right now with, putting my own business and my own practice on the back burner to focus on walkaway stuff, to focus on the critical, like tearing apart critical race theory, to have this impact in the world is more important, and I think it's what I should be doing. It's I think that this is the choice that I made from a spiritual perspective to be doing something like this. And I think the easy answer is like I can't not do it. I can't. I would be miserable if I wasn't doing that. If I had made the choice just to do my business and to do my corporate training, dude, I could be doing that. I could be very successful at that. I was successful at that for a long time, but I couldn't not go down this road. And so I think instinctively, and it's just a matter of following that instinct. All right, I've seen a bunch of super chats come in, so we're gonna come back and do some super chats. And again, guys, I'm very, very appreciative of all the super chats. It's awesome. Oh God, thanks for the bourgeoisie says, what are those fabulous boots in the thumbnail? Those are Doc Martens. I just got them the other day. They're on the website. You can get your very own pair. They're actually very comfortable. I just wore them. Actually, I just went grocery shopping right before this and to pick up this glorious, glorious beer. Mm. And so they're very comfortable. I highly recommend them. And you don't have to get platforms. Like there are other Doc Martens that don't have platforms. Um, View of Uranus says, as someone who has admitted being brainwashed yourself, is there hope to break through the indoctrination of in all of culture? Is it turning back? Yeah, of course there's hope. There's always hope. Guys, I mean, listen, like fundamentally, I don't believe that the human spirit like wants to be oppressed in the way that these SJWs are trying to oppress things. Like this is a pattern. We've been through this before as human beings. Is there hope that people are going to wake up? Of course, because fundamentally I believe that, the human spirit is one that wants to grow and expand and to follow its own unique path, and that's not possible under their very restrictive authoritarian system. So I think a lot of people are waking up. I think more than you think, and I think that we're really going to see the results of people waking up in November. I think we're absolutely going to see it. So have faith. Truman says, Return to Reason says, I wasn't referring to his physical health, but rather possible impeachment. Oh, I see, Truman. Okay. Overturning election results, desperate Dems equals dangerous Dems. No, I hear you, man. I think, I mean, listen, if Trump wins the popular vote by a very large margin, I think that would be very helpful. And that means that those of you in California, those of you in New York, those of you even in Oregon or Washington or all these states that you think that your vote doesn't matter, every freaking vote matters. I don't care where you live. I don't care how blue it is. You've got to get out and vote because Trump has got to win the popular vote. And I really think that that would be tremendously helpful in helping everyone move past this if he wins the popular vote by a landslide. Because then they aren't going to have that argument anymore. You're taking it off the table. Now, will they still try to impeach him? Probably. But, it doesn't. Hey, they can't impeach him if we take the House back too. So that's another thing. Quantum Football says, do you think that any of the canceled knitters will ever be invited back to Stitches or TNNA? Or if so, how soon will be? I hope so, man. I hope so. I hope the knitting community pulls its head out of its own ass. Like, one of the ones I'm really pissed about, I don't know if there's been a resolution to this yet because I just haven't been paying attention, is I know Stephen B got uninvited from Vogue Knitting Live. Now, if you've ever been to Vogue Knitting Live, I've gone the last 2 years. They're doing something virtually this year. I'm not even really paying attention to it. But Stephen B's booth at Vogue Knitting Live was like one of the only reasons to go to Vogue Knitting Live was to be able to go to Stephen B's booth. And so I think it's stupid that they disinvited him. Dude didn't even do anything to deserve it. So I hope they overturn it. I mean, it's just dumb. It's stupid. It's stupid for everyone. Like, ugh. Let's see. Steven asks, if we're trying to become the next generation of professionals, how do we approach applying to schools that are obviously pro critical race theory? Well, give it some time, man, because first off, the executive order that Trump issued, what was it, like last Friday or something? Where he banned critical race theory from contractors. Another thing that order did was it eliminated grant eligibility for people who are using critical race theory, right? Where do a lot of those grants go? They go to colleges. And so I think that was shot one across the bow for higher education. I firmly believe that if Trump gets reelected, I don't think he would do it before he got reelected, but I think he would probably do it after. I think he's going to go directly after higher education in terms of critical race theory being taught and how it's implemented and all these things. So just give it some time. Just give it some time. In the meantime, just know that if you're going to school and you need a credential, like if you're going to psychology, for instance, you need a credit. You need to do like if you want to be like a counselor, or if you need an APA accredited program, you just got to go in and go through the motions, man. I mean, Ben Shapiro talks about this. He talks about when he was in school, he did what he needed to do to get the degree. He said what he needed to say. Just get the degree, go out and actually practice in the real world. And, you got to do what you got to do sometimes. You don't always get to like it necessarily. Let's see. Oh. Okay. Are you planning on making more videos debunking critical race theory based on workplace training? Yes, I am. I have a series that kind of got put on pause because I accidentally deleted the file that I was using for that series, and I need to recreate the file. And I've just been like, I've been delaying it. But yeah, I do plan on making more of those videos. I also, guys, I have internal documents from DocuSign. It's a big company. I have internal documents from Delta that I'm working on something. I also am working on a big series, and I've had to take more time with this one than I wanted to, but I think it's important. I have a series coming exposing HR professionals that are behaving badly. Madison Butler, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, girl. And I'm not afraid of you. And those who know who I'm talking about when I say that. So there is a big series. I'm hopefully going to debut at least the first video of that next week, but I really got to get all my ducks in a row for this one. So I will be coming after that very, very heavily because these people have pissed me off. Rachel wants to know on morality versus reason. I think that what makes Western society great, we've been able to find a balance of Greek logic and Christian morality. I mean, Christian morality is not the only way to see the world, though. I'm going to say that because I'm not a Christian. You guys know that. I'm not a Christian. I think there are other ways to view the world. But I tend to agree. You have to have a mix of both. The Price is Right review says, I'm so glad for the first A because the UK is trying to make criticizing women a hate crime no joke. Oh, God, I'm sorry. Women here can kiss marriage goodbye if it comes here. Yeah, I mean, honestly, like, Me Too has been really, really awful for, thank God I'm married. I don't even know what I would have done. Like, Me Too has been so awful for women in terms of like dating and relationships. It's so stupid. I just don't understand it. Cutting off their nose to spite their face. That's what they're doing. Let's see. Why Bother says, it seems to me that for most people, social justice replaces traditional religion. I agree. Do you think that we have a chance of getting rid of it without going back to religion or evangelizing in that way? I mean, I'm not a religious person, man. I'm a spiritual person. Now, I think that it's less about religion. And I even think it's like less about your belief system as it is that you have some purpose in your life. Social justice gives, hang on, I'm going to cough. I'm going to mute real quick so I don't cough into the, ah, the issue with social justice is that it feels like people don't have a purpose. That's why they get sucked into it, is they don't have a broader purpose. And social justice and this critical race nonsense gives them that broader purpose. All of a sudden, they're calling people out left and right, and they feel like they're accomplishing something, and they're getting people fired, and that feels good to them. And they're, knocking people's food over at like a restaurant that they invade, and that feels like it has purpose, and they have a community built around it. It's because they don't have a purpose. Religion can give people that perspective. Spirituality can give people that perspective. Work can give people that perspective. I'm a very big fan of people throwing themselves into their careers when they have that, because a career can give you a purpose. A job can give you a purpose. So I think religion and spirituality definitely can help. Um, I've said that one of the reasons that I don't think that I was sucked into social justice crazy town when all of my friends turned into pod people is because I was highly spiritualized by that point, and I was doing a lot of inner work, and I was going on retreats, and I was going to Peru, I was doing ayahuasca and all this stuff. And so I had that bigger picture, I had that bigger purpose in mind, and it was directly, it did not compute with social justice. It didn't go together. Let's see. Oh God. Thank you guys so much for the super chats. I really appreciate it. Elizabeth said, after staying silent after several arguments, but I'm in the middle of writing a young adult novel and I'm making sure to put pro free speech into a yes. Elizabeth, I love it. AJ Starkhiker says, my high school did have civics classes. One thing I remember being told was that if you don't vote, you shouldn't complain about the results. Yeah, I had civics in high school too. Did they still teach civics in high school? I don't even know if they still teach civics in high school, to be honest. Let's see. All right, I think I got through all the super chats. I think I did. Guys, I'm sorry if I missed your super chat. Ping me in the chat. I'll do my best to try to get to all of them if I missed any. Let's see. Let's bring my questions back up. Bing. Okay. Can you discuss the mental impacts of children seeing only masked faces? This has never been done before. Dude, I'm really worried about this. And I've said from the beginning that human beings are not designed to be like this. We're not designed to be like this. So it's just not, it doesn't compute. And I think it's going to be incredibly harmful for the long term for adults. I think it's going to be even more harmful for kids. And the scary thing is that we don't know. We don't know what it's going to do. We don't know, because everyone is acting as though the only thing that we should be worried about with the mask issue is like, oh, it protects people from getting sick if you have the virus and you don't know it. Yeah, that's all fine, well and good. I get it, but you're not considering the other side of it. So we don't know, I think, is the answer to that. We don't know. Kristen says, I was just thinking about how fast a life can change. Yeah, for real, man. Since your article went viral, it's been fun watching your journey. I'm glad you're enjoying life that kind of fell into your lap. I'm also glad it happened to someone who knows how to grab a hold of it and use it for the betterment of others. Thank you for being a sane voice. Well, thank you, Kristen, for that comment. And I want to say this, like, I mean, I didn't sometimes, and I think this is why it's always important to trust your instinct. I think right now I'm exactly on the path I should be on. I don't know what the big picture is with this yet. I don't know why I necessarily like what role I'm supposed to play yet, but I think I'm on the right path. And I think that always trust your instinct with these things. If you see an opportunity, like grab it. Like when I first started, like guys, when I first started my YouTube channel, like I was gonna be talking about workplace stuff. I started it at the beginning, like end of January, beginning of February, really. And I was gonna be talking about workplace stuff, and then all of a sudden a bunch of you were subscribed to me and not caring about my workplace stuff at all, really. And so I just went for it. And I think that it's important when you have opportunities like that just land in your lap, go for it. And that's good advice for anyone. And it might be something like this, it might not be something like this, but follow your excitement. Am I familiar with and I don't know how to say this, Enneagram? I'm not familiar with it. I'd love to know your number and any thoughts you have. I'm not familiar with it, but I'll ask Joshua about it. Maybe he is. Um, we'll see. Well, politics has taken over your channel. Yeah, more or less at the moment. Though I have not seen a Gretchen watch in a while. People email me about Gretchen watch all the time. I haven't done one lately. Maybe I should check in, see what Gretchen's up to. At some point, I thought she had been prosecuted for the nursing home ploy, but it's probably the jerks in New York. Can we see more of the disc systems and other filaments in your regular profession? Yeah, I do plan on, again, like you haven't seen the disc stuff lately because I deleted the file I was using like a moron and I just haven't gotten to recreating it yet. But you will see more with disc. I think right now I am really focused on the election, to be honest. That feels like the more important thing, but I'm happy to do disc stuff or workplace stuff as well, because that is my first love. Girl, you seriously lost some weight. Okay. Like people have been saying this to me. Um, I don't know what the hell happened with the weight loss. I really don't. I've lost, guys, I have not been trying one iota to lose weight. I didn't care. I haven't even been going to the gym. I literally got kicked out of my gym. My gym won't even let me go because they're like, we know you've been traveling. They spied on my social media and they kicked me out of the gym and said I couldn't come. So I haven't even been going to the gym. I've lost like 20 pounds in 2 weeks. I have no idea what happened. I really don't. So, thank God for small effing miracles because I wasn't even trying to lose weight and now it's just like melting off of me. I have no idea, but we're just going to thank the universe for its blessings, I suppose. Cheers to that. Okay, let's see. How and when did you get into IO psychology and what influenced you to go into that field? Oh, what a great question. So, I was working at, I used to do marketing professionally. My undergraduate degree is in communication. I have an MBA, which is just like, I did an MBA because I was working at a college and was like, I'll get a master's degree for free, whatever. Um, and so after I did my MBA, I went to work for Dartmouth College. And I worked in their fundraising office. And Dartmouth had on staff a director of professional development who was an IO psychologist. And being that I was working in higher education, I was always thinking about doing a PhD more as like a self-actualization exercise than anything else. And I was like, oh, psychology sounds cool. And oh, business psychology sounds really cool because I was always miserable at work. I had horrible bosses my entire career. I was miserable and I was really interested in how do we create better workplaces that are more human and that treat everyone well. And so that was how I got into organizational psychology. And then I ended up, I had some really bullying bosses. And so I ended up studying workplace bullying for 10 years and did my doctoral dissertation based on that. And, I love my profession. I love what I do. I think I'm so sad. Part of this transition for me into doing more of like this content and commentary stuff is like I've had to give up some of the work that I was doing in order to do it and keep up with it. And it makes me really sad, to be honest. But also at the same time, it is the perfect time to be taking a little bit of a break from what I was doing because the entire industry has been taken over by woke nonsense training. And so I kind of had a choice. I was going to have to lean into doing the woke nonsense training just to survive financially, or I was going to say, okay, now is a good time to maybe take a break and to focus more on fighting the woke nonsense training. And I still do like coaching and I still do presentations for clients sometimes. But I think I'm taking like a much needed break from the schedule that I did have in terms of like doing a lot of consulting and doing like a lot of ongoing work. And I feel very, very blessed that I have so many of you that are supporting me in this because and I really do mean this. If it wasn't for you guys and the support that you've shown me and the love that you've shown me, I would have to be shilling woke nonsense training just to get by. And I'm very, very resoundingly grateful that I don't have to do that, and instead I can spend my time fighting the woke nonsense training so that we can get back to what it should be, which is more focused on the individual and different communication styles and different ways to build team resiliency, stuff like that. Like the focus is not going to return to things until that actually work until we defeat critical race theory for good. And so thank you guys for, allowing me that time and that space to do it. I really do appreciate it. All right. I'm going to go back to some super chats. Johnny Cash says, huge fan. I appreciate what you do. Thank you, Johnny. Excuse me. I just wanted your perspective on the new wave of new voters who just became able to vote since they were more susceptible to left-wing indoctrination. I just wanted your perspective on the new wave of new voters who just became able to you mean like 18-year-olds that have just reached like of age. I mean, younger people don't vote, so I'm not actually that worried about it. I think there are more, again, like I think there are more Trump people out there than it might seem because the Trump people are just quiet, you know? I think that's it. I'm really not worried about younger voters, the ones that have been indoctrinated into left-wing nonsense. I'm really not worried about them. We know they didn't show up. They didn't show up for Bernie. They didn't show up. So if they'd shown up, Bernie probably would have won. They didn't show up. Heather says, cheers for punk rock girls. Cheers, Heather. Cheers. Drink. All right. Let's see. Abigail says, oh my God, look at that dog. Look at that dog. My dog Honey is being like such a freaking ham today. You guys should see, oh my God. I'll take a picture of her later. Hi, Dr. Karlyn. How do you find a psychologist that isn't into critical race theory? This is a really great question. I've noticed a lot of people getting into social justice after therapy. There are psychologists out there that are not woke. The problem is that the American Psychological Association has gone totally woke, and they've been woke for like a minute. This is like not a new thing. Now, in order to be a counselor, in order to get that credential, you have to go through the APA. You have to, like, I am, hang on. I am so blessed because what I do as an industrial organizational psychologist, I don't have to be licensed. I do not have to be licensed in the state of New Hampshire to practice my particular brand of psychology because I'm not counseling people. I'm not a mental health professional, right? I do like workplace stuff. And so I don't need to go through the APA, but a lot of psychologists do. Now, what I will tell you is that I get emails every single day from counselors that have a tremendous problem with this sort of thing. So I would say just like ask around, man. You guys know the warning signs to look for when from my channel, the keywords and the buzzwords to listen to for when people are going to be woke. Another person you could ask is like, I've had Dr. Howard Asher on my channel a couple times now, and he actually now has a locals community. I believe it's Dr. Dr. howardasher.locals.com. Go sign up for Howard's Locals because Howard is definitely not woke and he might be able to help you. So just ask around, interview lots of therapists. You're going to be able to find someone that's not woke. Trust me. Let's see. Adam is here. Yay, Adam. Thank you, Adam. Smash that like button, guys. Smash the like button for Adam. We love Adam. Yay. I was just on a show last night. If you guys haven't seen it, Adam is the best. Did I miss a super chat? I think I did. Okay, Heather. Not chilling for woke crap. Thank you, Heather. Thank you, Heather. I appreciate it. Forgiven, willing servant of Christ says, as you become less leftist, do you feel happier? Do you actually feel like yourself and your relationships are expressed more authentically? I'm definitely happier. I was pretty happy before because I believe that happiness is a choice at the end of the day. So I was okay. I mean, it was definitely a little weird because all of my friends were leftists, right? So it was a weird place to kind of be. Um, but I definitely feel much happier. Guys, people on the right are so much happier. Like I appreciate people on the right. I may not always agree with you, but I definitely appreciate you more. I definitely feel more like myself. I probably am. You know what? It's funny. Like Joshua has told me like when we carry extra weight. So we've already talked about me like losing weight like a crazy person like for no apparent reason. Um like Joshua and I have had conversations where he says that like when you carry weight, you're waiting for something. It's like a spiritual thing. Like you're carrying weight because you're waiting. And he always told me that my the key to my success would be to express myself emotionally. And I feel like in the last definitely in the last like month or two, I'm expressing myself more emotionally and just basically like giving no F's anymore for anything I say. Like I just don't care anymore. I don't care. And that's because of you guys, honestly, because you guys are all so supportive and you know, you put up with the ads on my YouTube and you send me wonderful super chats and you join my locals and things like that. You guys are giving me the gift of being able to express what I want to say unapologetically. And so maybe there's something to it. Maybe there's something to like I'm dropping the weight for no good reason because I'm certainly not like my diet does not reflect that I should have lost 20 pounds in the last 2 weeks. I'll tell you what, maybe it's because I'm not waiting anymore. So, yes, I definitely feel like I express myself more authentically. And I absolutely feel as though my relationships are much more authentic for sure. For sure. Adam says, "Smash it again! You all better smash it!" I'm going to see there are 338 of you in here now. I need to see at least 338 likes by the time I get done this. Oh, this isn't a super chat, but it's a good question. Tacos or burritos? Burritos, probably, probably. Tacos are pretty good too. Um, What do you think of Chris Evans as starting point? I get the concept of the brand, but I don't see how it can survive with him being partisan. I don't know what it is. But I will look into it and I will let you know. But I don't know what that is. I've been too busy lately, guys. I can't keep up with everything. I do like wasn't Chris Evans in what was that movie? Snowpiercer? That movie's a good movie. Snowpiercer might be my top movie to the question that was asked earlier. I really like Snowpiercer a lot. Rachel says, I'm a senior and I want to apply to grad school, but I can't readily sit and talk about it with my counselors or professors. I'm freaking out and stressed and would love some advice. Rachel, just apply. Just apply. There's nothing to be freaked out about. Listen, here's the thing. I was a college admissions counselor for like 5 years. Okay. Here's the thing, first of all, that most people don't tell you about college admissions. Most programs are going to accept you. But like if your grades are even adequate, like if your grades are even like moderate, ooh, just hit my microphone. If your grades are moderate, most programs are going to accept you. It's going to be okay. And then you get your pick of the programs. Like most programs do not have highly competitive admissions. It's very, 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 very few at the top. And so just start applying. Just go to their campuses, talk to the faculty, see what's what. If you're worried about them being woke, apply to conservative schools, apply to religious schools. Even if you aren't religious, you're going to be much less likely to find woke faculty and woke administrators at more conservative schools. Just the way it is. Cheers. All right, but don't freak out. Above all, like this should be fun. Applying to grad, like it should be fun. It's exciting to go to grad school, man. Don't worry about it. Let's see. Forgiven, willing servant of Christ says, "You're not hiding anymore, so the weight falls off." From your lips to God's ears, man. If I can lose all this weight that I've been carrying for years without actually trying, that would be the most amazing thing that's ever happened to me in my life. Because the last time I lost a boat ton of weight, I really had to work for it. I was like working out 3-4 hours a day and it sucked. Um, weight loss equals easier to run with a crazy show. Don't I know it, man? Like, I got to be careful because the last time. Okay, so fun fact, I don't think most of you know this. So I actually used to run marathons. Um, my last marathon was in 2015. It was the Boston Marathon. Of all, I ran the Boston Marathon in 2014 and 2015, and I really like. I would really like to do. I would really like in my fantasy land at some point to run marathons again because I genuinely enjoy running marathons. But I can't do it at this weight. I can't. I was not actually much. Well, I was a little bit. I was definitely lighter last time I ran a marathon. But I wasn't like skinny or anything. Um, but I would really, if I can drop this weight, maybe I can start running marathons again, or at least doing half marathons. Um, that would be awesome. Let's see. Alexandra says, effing thank you again for saving my A. I almost got sucked into the cult. Oh, it would have ruined my marriage and my kids. I can't thank you enough. We need a walkaway rally in Michigan. Yeah, I don't control where the rallies come, but I'm really, really grateful that you found value in what I've been putting out there. And I'm grateful you didn't get sucked into the cult and that you were able to sustain your marriage. That's awesome. That's awesome. That feels really good, guys. Thank you. Voice of Reason says, we need a strong system for deprogramming Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and woke SJWs. I agree. They and their ideology are terrifying. Your journey has been amazing to watch, and I wish more could follow your path. I mean, I think that the people that are following my path are the people that should be. I think they're the right people for right now. And we're gonna see what happens. Like we're playing the long game here, guys. We are absolutely playing the long game. And I think we all need to be conscious of that. This is not going to end at the election, regardless of the results of the election. This is not going to end at the election. What we're fighting against with social justice, critical race theory, all of these things, it's going to outlast this individual like presidential term. And so this is the long game. We all have to be fighting. We all have to be out there, and I'm going to do my part. And I hope all of you are as well in your own unique ways. And listen, like what I'm doing is not the only way to fight. It could be as simple as having a conversation with someone in your downtime, having a conversation with a friend or a loved one saying, are you really comfortable with these riots? Don't even bring Trump into it. Trump is not necessarily the only way into this to fight it. It's just about making sure that you're embracing different ways to try to change people's minds. And if you just change one person's mind, that's still a day's work well done, man. It really is. Mm. All right, let's go back to I'm starting to lose my voice, so I'm going to hang in there as long as I can and try to get all these questions answered. But I'm going to do my best. All right, let's see. How did I meet my husband? Oh my god. Okay. Um, I was living in Vermont and I was moving to the house that we live in now. I bought it by myself. I'm very Can I just say for a second, I'm gonna brag for a second. I'm very proud that I bought my house myself. I saved the down payment for it myself. I went through the whole process myself. I didn't need anyone's help. And so I bought my house and I needed to move all my crap. And I wasn't going to hire movers because I'm just not that hiring a mover type girl. But the job I was in that I was moving for said, we'll pay your moving expenses. I was like, shoot, if you're going to pay my moving expenses, I'm definitely hiring movers. Adam's got to go get ready for a show. Bye, Adam. Thank you for dropping by. So I hired movers and they were supposed to show up at a certain time and they showed up about an hour late. And I was really pissed because I was on a schedule that day. So I was getting really pissed at the movers for not being on time. And I know, Victor, you're watching this right now from the downstairs. I know you're getting a kick out of this. And so then they finally showed up. My husband is one of the people that jumps out of the moving truck. And I was living in Norwich, Vermont at the time, and I was really bored because I was living out in the middle of nowhere. And so at some point I had decided, like, I'm just going to learn how to speak Russian. This was a project I was working on at the time. I was trying to learn how to speak Russian. And so my husband shows up And this is like back in the day when my husband was a mover. And so he was like really in shape, right? My husband my husband still, Victor, honey, I still love you. You still look good. But he looked really good back then. And then he started talking and he has a thick Russian accent. And so I was like, where are you from? And because I'd never met anyone that spoke Russian before. And so we just started talking and one thing led to another. And that was how I met my husband. He was my mover. That was it. That was it. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Do you have an opinion on psychedelics for PTSD? Not ayahuasca. Yes, ayahuasca. The specific like ayahuasca is medicine. It's medicine. This is why I say like ayahuasca. Like you don't do ayahuasca if you just want to get high and you just want to hallucinate because that's not what it is. It's not. And I've done ayahuasca a bunch of times now and like there are times you don't hallucinate. Okay? So that's not what it's for. Ayahuasca is specifically for healing. And so for things like PTSD, for basically anything, I like ayahuasca will heal you from a number of different things. And so yes, I recommend ayahuasca. Something like LSD is very different than ayahuasca. Okay? I do not recommend LSD for healing things like PTSD. Ayahuasca, yes. LSD, no. So that's my position on that. Marcus says, been following your story for a few months now. I really appreciate that you're speaking out. It's an honor to support your channel. Thank you, Marcus. I really appreciate that. Thank you for taking the risk. Thank you, Valerie, for your support. And guys, I really do mean this. I know that, I've said it already on this live stream. Your support is the reason that I can take the risks because your support means that it's not as much of a risk. Like, I've lost clients in this whole thing. I've gained clients too, by the way. But like, it's you guys that make all of this possible. So you are just as critical in this equation as what I'm doing, and I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing if it wasn't for you. And I will just forever be grateful of that. I can't emphasize it enough. Donna wants to know, so what do you think of Trump's healthcare now? Trump doesn't have a healthcare plan, man. Like Trump, this is an issue I have with Trump, but it's frankly just like not the most important thing to me right now. But I want to see better healthcare reform. I want to see an actual effing plan. Sarah B asks, are you going to the Omaha Walkaway rally? I think so. Yes, there will be one in Omaha. It is the week before the election. I think I'm going to it. I think I'm going to all the rest of the walkaway rallies for up until the election. They can make a different choice, but I've told them that I'm available for it. So I will probably be in Omaha, I would think. What inspired me to go into psychology? I've already answered that. Where did I get the boots from? Okay, Sarah B wants to know what's the best yarn for knitting a blanket and my favorite yarn overall. Best yarn for knitting a blanket is going to be chunky. It's going to be real big yarn because this blanket's going to take effing forever. My favorite yarn overall is hedgehog fibers. I actually have a project I'm working on right here. This is all nice and pretty and speckly. This is all hedgehog fibers. I really like their colors. I like the quality of the yarn a lot. I like them. I like Undercover Otter. Yeah, I think those are my two that I really like quite a bit. And then, there are so many great yarns out there. Madeline Tosh is okay. I think, what's really good actually is West Wool is actually really good. West Wool is Stephen West's yarn line. I've actually really enjoyed the things I've knitted. I actually have another thing going right now. I just started this one. Guys, I have like 18 projects on the needles, but I just started this one last night because I'm almost done that other one and I wanted to see how these two yarns work together. So the dark green is West Wool. The light green is La Bien Aimée. But I like West Wool quite a bit, actually. Let's see. They're not Kiss boots, guys. Come on. Where did I get my jacket? I already answered that. Neiman Marcus. And the jacket's effing cool. That photo does not even show how effing cool that jacket is. That jacket is awesome. It has a hood, it has a piece of leather on the back. Like, it's a really good jacket. I'm so excited about it. Please tell me that's your Jeep. That was not my Jeep in the background of that picture, although I am thinking about buying a Jeep Wrangler because I need to get a new car. But that was not my Jeep. That was just, was I ever psychotic? Was I ever psychotic? I think I had moments of being psychotic. But I don't think I was ever as bad as a lot of people. Oh, we got someone from Vermont. Robert is from Vermont. Hello. I grew up in Vermont. I grew up in Williamstown. Show me your wool anytime, darling. Anytime. I'll always show my wool. Except if you're Vosh, and then I will not show you my wool. Okay. Oh, that joke's gonna get back to him. I freaking know it. Let's see. Here's my question. Oh, God. It's a good thing I've already had a whole glass of beer for this question. You are suddenly the leader of the Democratic Party in the race to defeat Trump. What are your first actions internal to the party? What are your first policy changes? How would you reclaim former Democrats like yourself? I kick a whole bunch of people out of the party. Would be my like I would if I was Lord Emperor of the Democratic Party and I could remake the Democratic Party in my image, I'd be kicking them all out and returning to traditional liberal values. That's what I'd be returning to. Which is obviously not going to work in today's Democratic Party, but that would be what I would do. Let's see. Elizabeth in this question asks, have I ever encountered ghosts? I have encountered ghosts, 100%. So the first time I encountered a ghost was I was dating this guy I was actually engaged to be married to this guy from Northampton, Massachusetts. And he had always told me stories about how he had like ghosts following him. I never believed him. But we were out in like a field one day. We were just like taking a walk and we were on a field near his house. And it was the weirdest thing. And I swear to this day that this was supernatural. And later the occurrence told me that it was. So he always had told me like he was haunted by this particular spirit. And I was like, okay, Sean, whatever. And so we were on this field near his house, and we were walking through this field, and guys, I was tripped by nothing. There was nothing there to trip me. Like I tripped over nothing. And so I ended up I hurt my ankle really badly getting tripped. And so I was looking, what the hell just tripped me? It was like one of those things is like, something's happened, but you don't know exactly what. And I was like, what? And we looked around, there was nothing there to trip me. So I tripped and got hurt from nothing. Later that night, where we'd fallen asleep and I was in bed with him, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and this is God's honest truth. I looked at the bottom of the bed and I saw a ghost sitting at the bottom of the bed. It was the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life. He had red eyes, it looked like a skeleton, and I swear I was awake. I was not asleep. I thought about this extensively. I was not asleep. I was awake, sitting at the bottom of the bed, looking at me. And then he turns and he points at my then fiance. And I was terrified. I was so terrified. All I could think to do was just turn back over and lay on him and put my arm over him. And so I've definitely seen a ghost. And I've had other supernatural occurrences as well, but that was the worst one for sure. Apparently I lost weight. Everyone's noticing I lost weight. See, I didn't even know I had lost that much weight until I saw Brandon and Mikey this past weekend. And the first thing Brandon said to me was like, oh my God, what happened? You lost weight. I had no idea. Honestly, I had no idea until he said that to me. So, let's see. What am I knitting now? So I've just shown a couple projects I'm knitting now. I'm hoping to finish up one of them for the mystery knit along that's going to happen in a couple of weeks. Let's see. Oh god, this last one. Oh my god, how are you not a lesbian? Okay, probably a perfect place to end it, right? How am I not a lesbian? Because I like dick. I do. I do. That's how I'm not a lesbian. It's really that simple, guys. I'm not a lesbian. That's it. That's it. Perfect place to end our Friday happy hour live stream on. I think I've gotten all the super chats. Um, guys, if there's anything else for the good of the order, speak now. I will. Adam, you were supposed to be getting ready for your show. What are you doing? Cheers, my friend. Cheers. All right. So I expect all of you to go and watch Adam's show at 6:30. I hear a rumor that he's going to be playing music tonight. I will be watching it. And so I will be tuning in. I hope you all tune in. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out with me on a random Friday afternoon. I do like doing these live streams. I do have a plan after the election where I'm going to be doing more regular live stuff for you to tune into. I'm thinking about doing kind of a mostly daily podcast just to cheers. I'm gonna go get another beer and I'm gonna tune into Adamcast in a little bit. All right, guys, happy Friday. I'll see you soon.